This is the Agility Next back office system from GasPods. It is brought to you as part of your Intrepid point of sale system. So you'll receive an email with a link to the web address that this system resides, and as well as your login and password information, so that you'll have access to all of your daily reports and this full back office system ready for you to use. Wanted to introduce you to this system today. We're going to look at daily reports, how to maintain POUs and your scan file retail prices on price book, and get those back to the register. First thing, as you close your end of day or close the day on the register, this information is summarized. The sales journal is sent up to Agility Next, and you can view it here. The homepage shows a summary of what's going on for that store for the month. This bottom right section shows the month and year, and then each column represents a day. And if you have one store, you'll have one listed. If you've got several or multiple stores, they'll all be here. You simply select the dot that corresponds to the store and date that you'd like to look at, and you're presented with a daily report. Exception-based system, so that if we see inventory issues or missing fuel sales amounts or any other type of information that might be a problem, we bring that to your attention here. Going down in the summary, we present your general information and then fuel inventory. Yesterday's stick receipts are bills of lading. The sales come from Intrepid. And this, again, this automatically uploads from your point of sale from Intrepid to the back office system. So we've got opening, receipt, sales, ending total, and then our current inventory from your VitaRoot system or from your stick reading. You can enter it, and it presents the overshort for the day, as well as keeps it running for the total for the month. This system is EPA compliant. You can run a fuel inventory reconciliation report that will show, can use to keep your inventory records and be compliant with the state. Next section has fuel sales and then any retail gas price checks that you do. Next section is inside inventory. You're presented with your inventory by category. Food service is presented at cost, and then merchandise categories are presented at retail. If you do your vendor invoices, those are your purchases of inventory. These are optional. You don't have to do that, but if you do, then it will keep a perpetual inventory for you so that we know what your beginning was for the day, any purchases from invoices, any adjustments you might enter, less sales that come from the register, and that'll give you your ending book. If you were to count your inventory, you can enter those counts and it will calculate inventory over short and present you with a new begin book for the next day that is your audited inventory count. There's invoices, and then we present you with your cash and credit card totals, then break out your sales by category. And then we have a cash reconciliation. You will need to enter your deposit amount, which is the difference between sales, less tenders, less any paid outs that you might have is your cash accountable. And then take away your deposit amount, and that will show you what your cash over short for the day is. That's the summary screen. I'm going to walk through the detail screens very quickly. Vendor invoices, if you enter those, this will help maintain your inventory, or if you enter your supplies, then that can be included in an export or a report that you print, like a general ledger trial balance to hand to your accountant for taking care of the books. We're going to look at a food service invoice here where we bought some from Hunt. We bought some pizzas at a cost of $800. Got your invoice number, invoice date, and the amount paid. Your deposit is how much money goes to the bank. The difference between your cash accountable and your deposits or your cash over short. You can enter one or more deposits a day. It's up to you. Some stores will enter one deposit for the entire day. Some stores will enter one deposit per shift. It's up to you. Bills of lading are our fuel deliveries. We can see those here. We'll click the edit button. We have a default fuel supplier and terminal. You can make those your own. Under the setup screen, there's an option for suppliers, terminals, and carriers. Excuse me. We also have an online help system. So if you select help and documentation, you're presented with the online help. For a fuel delivery, you enter the bill of lading number, select your supplier terminal, what products were delivered, put in the gross and net gallons, and then the whatever dropped into the tank by tank. And then you would also like to, I'd recommend entering your cost. You'll have an invoice for that. So just, you can lump it all into one column, or you can break it out by freight and taxes, however you need to. Price checks, the next thing. You can enter a new price check where you keep up with your competition. If one of them moves, let's say you've got people at the store, someone running the store that's not the manager, they can enter a price check, and then that report can be printed by this manager or person who's responsible for setting the retail prices for the fuel, and they can make decisions accordingly. Fuel sales, we track gallons times price and then compare that to the console dollars. That all is populated automatically from the register. We also do fuel meters. And again, that is compared to the console and shows a variance between the meters and the sales. Fuel inventory, we keep our opening gallons, which is yesterday's ending, at gallons and cost. We track our fuel deliveries. Our sales come from the register, and then your ending total less your Vita root or tank stick gallons is your overshort for the day. Again, this is all EPA compliant, legal in all 50 states. Next, we'll look at our merchandise sales screen. These are the details by category. These will be your categories from your store. Here we'll look at packaged beverages. So here's all your sodas, how many sold, their cost in retail. Depends on how you're leveraging Pricebook. If you only use it to maintain your scan retails, then you'll have a retail column with zero cost. If you're using it to track your purchases from any vendor deliveries, then the cost will be populated here. Food service, very similar. We track those at category level and calculate your inventory at cost. Miscellaneous income can be recorded here. It will populate from your register. Two other fields we have of note, we have a scratch ticket or scratch off ticket inventory, and we also can track money order details if you have a need to do that. Taxes come from your register. So whatever taxes are collected on the register show up here. Your tenders are your credit card payments. What types of credit cards do you accept? And that information will be provided here. Paid outs, we do get store supplies from the register. Other fields are optional. If you want to track paid outs, like for mowing the grass, you can put that in here, and then that'll subtract from your cash accountability and calculate with the overshort. Demographics are count, not statistical information, non-financial information. Those are used in reports. Item inventory tracks inventory by item, should you choose to do so. You will need to do a count of your store by item, enter those counts, and then your purchases and sales will need to be, the sales will come from the register automatically. Purchases will need to be entered in vendor invoices. It will track that for you. Manager counts don't go anywhere. This is mostly used for counting cigarettes at the end of every shift. Gives the cashiers a place to record how many cigarettes were in the store at the end of their shift or the start of their shift. Inventory adjustments. These are done automatically for you based on the selling price. If it deviates from regular retail price in price book, then the system will make a automatic adjustment based on the selling retail, or you can do your markups and markdowns manually. Inside inventory is a fiscal inventory account, so that if you have a service come in, or if you choose to count by category, you can enter those. That count will generate an overshort for you, and it will also become the beginning book for the next business day. General is where you keep some non-financial numbers, but also important here is beginning and ending cash. If you track that every day, the ending cash becomes the beginning cash for the next day. And if it changes, the difference between the first of the month and the end of the month gets printed on the GL trial balance or exported to your accounting system so that your petty cash can be updated in your financials. And then we're back to the summary screen where you can look and find all of the information. All the details are on the left side, and the summary gives you a good overview of everything that happened for that business day. Next thing I want to show you is how to print reports. So across the top menu, if you select reports, presented with some folders that groups the reports for you. Under operations management, we have a comprehensive store report. Select that and pick the date that you want to run that for. I'm actually going to run it through the 15th of the month. And this report will give us some projections of our sales would be. So here, first section is our fuel inventory. Notice that it has our sales to date, and then it projects how many gallons we'll sell for the month. Merchandise is the same way. We have our sales month to date, and then our percent of the total, and then what our projected sales are for the month. Cash accountabilities on the right side shows you all of our sales, less cash and deposits, and our cash overshort for the month. There's about 80 or 85 different reports in the system that you can use. There's two others I want to point out to you. Under accounting, we have our sales tax report. Very quickly, just select your from to date. Just going to run it for one store. Condensed report, but if you'll notice, there's a plus sign on the left side. So if we need to see the details of what was sold, we just click that plus sign, and here it breaks out our fuel sales. We click the plus beside merchandise totals. It shows how much was sold in each category and the computed tax per category. That's dependent on you entering the correct sales tax amount in the setup screen for sales taxes. It should be correct starting out. You get your email with the link to Agility back office for Agility Next back office. And with your login and password, you'll be able to get to the setup and see that those were imported from your register. The other report I want to point out to you is an EPA report. Under fuel, we have a fuel inventory compliance report. It for a period. Run it for one store. Report has been vetted in all 50 states. Well, the lower 48 anyway. And it shows your stick open, received, sales, ending book, stick, and the overshort for the day. It calculates your overshort and shows you if you're in compliance for overshort or not. Very good to have on hand. Under category management, the purchase analysis summary, merchandise sales analysis is a really good report. You can run that for our period. Shows you by category, sales and your margin information. If you had an inventory count, those types of good information. Lots of reports. Feel free to run them, and store summary report's a really good one. This report shows how many fuel and merchandise and food service sales, your margins, and projects what you'll do for the month based on you set the reports run for what's in the system. Reports. The next thing I want to look at is price book, and we're going to talk about how to maintain your scanning retails using price book instead of maintaining them on the register. Remember, with this, anywhere you have a web address or internet access with a tablet or a PC, you can pull this up, set your prices, and those get pushed to the register at your choosing. Price book, if I select sales, we're going to manage the retail price of one item right now. So we select it by item. This is a filter. So if I was interested in Coke products or anything that entered in Coke, and I wanted to change this Coke 1 liter, I click edit there, and I click the retail tab, and it's currently at $1.99. Let's say that needs to go up to $2.09. I simply click add. I enter 2.09, effective that date, and save. I have just changed that price of the retail selling price of that item. That when this gets to the register, it will then scan at that price. Under packages, it shows the UPC number that item stored under. Those are the important things for scanning, is the package information and the retail. And of course, here's your point of sale description. That's how you maintain the retail for a single item. I'm going to be able to mass update prices. So let's say for all 20-ounce Coke products, we will set a promotion in place. This is a workbench screen. It's under sales, mass update, market price. We'll clear our list, and you can add as many items to this list as you'd like, get it the way you want it, and then commit to the database. And from there, there's one more step to send it to the register. So here we're going to add items. This is a for lack of a better word, a filter or a select search list. I'm going to search on unit of measure. So I'm interested in 20-ounce oak products. And I'm going to set the price to $1.25. We'll make that for Memorial Day weekend, the 27th, and end it 30th. And select next. So here's all our Coke products. Current price is $1.79. It's going to change it to $1.25 for the weekend. I'm going to select all and view my list. So here's our price change. $1.79 going to $1.25 starting 5/27. If I commit that to the database, then it will record that promotion and that will be sent to the store. Save that. If we go down to send it to the store, it's very straightforward. You go to integration, price book build, select your store, send to site, and then on the top in the far right corner, select build. Okay. Screen will take a moment and refresh. And that'll take 2 or 3 minutes to build the files for the store. And then those are sent automatically to the register. This is all you have to do. So anytime you do a build, it will update the POU files and scanning prices on the register for you. If you have any other questions, please feel free to contact support. Send an email to support@gaspos.co, and Davis or I will be happy to answer any questions you might have or help you to set something up so that it works good for you. Hope you enjoy Agility Back Office, Agility Next Back Office from GasPos.